Hi, I'd like to thank all the people who give me some feedback about these videos, and I kind of appreciate doing them because it helps me think some things through, um, for myself. I do them off the cuff. Sorry the last one was so long. I felt like that topic was deserving of a little more attention though, because there's just so much anger and whatnot. But I'm gonna switch gears here a little bit and tell you some of the things that, like I talked about in the first video, where we fix the problems in our businesses, in our lives, in our families, whatever it is, before there's a crisis, right? So you hear a lot of mythology right now about who's getting coronaviruses. Some people say it's directed at one ethnic group versus another. Some people, it says it's directed at one color of eyes versus another and stuff like that. And it's a bunch of, basically guesswork. I'm not sure where those things come from, and I can't spend my life worrying about what color eyes I have because I just have them, So, so that said, this little talk is about a book that I read when I was about 21 years old by a guy named Harvey Mackay, who was in the envelope business. Yes, the envelope business. And he wrote a book originally, Swimming with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. And then there was another book that he wrote a couple years later that was, the title really told you everything you needed to. It was a great book, but everything you needed to know about the book, all the information you needed in the book was in the title. And the title was Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. And I'm a big believer in this. And it's funny, I'm a big believer in as far as marketing, having outlets to go to prior to a crisis if I need them, so that I can market and get business, when I need to. And one of my groups is a networking group called Business Networking International. You may have heard of it as BNI. Don't roll your eyes. Some of you, I love it. I get a lot of joy out of being part of my particular group. I get a lot of joy out of being part of a group that is focused on, helping each other get through the perilous waters of self-employment or of sales or whatever it is. And we have an education moment in our group every week. And that this week it was, or next week, I'm not sure. Rafe Granger is our education coordinator, and he's a great entrepreneur, lawyer type that if you don't know who he is, you should look him up. And he and I talked about doing exactly this topic, and I think it's either next week or the week after, where I was going to speak about digging your well before you're thirsty. And that said, when it comes to life in general, it's a good philosophy, because you don't want to wait until you're thirsty to find out where the water is, right? Because you can spend hours digging a hole into the earth and come up dry, right? When all you had to do was move 1 or 2 feet to the left or right or whatever it was. But this happens a lot, especially in business. When you need marketing things, you go after you target potential people who can work well with you, or you target a potential group to get in, and we're all kind of learning how to market on the fly here, right? So digging your well before you're thirsty is something that everybody is going to forget about by June, I'm pretty sure, because the things we could have done prior to this are things we should be doing now, so that this doesn't happen the same way for us individually in the future. And you can make small choices every day. It doesn't have to be some grand scheme that's going to get you 100 million new clients or patients or customers or foodies. It doesn't have to be. You can work your magic one mind at a time, and you need to start with yours. And so that said, I recommend that if you have a real concern about when things normalize, if and when, hopefully if, right? If and when things normalize, that you have a plan put in place to make sure that the new normal is business as usual no matter what. Now, I have done what I can to make sure that my mindset was as such that I wasn't going to give in to the fears about closing down and things that people are really struggling with, including me, that I decided I was going to stay open and serve people in whatever capacity that looked like. And I started doing the videos. And again, I really appreciate the good feedback I'm getting about the videos. I had a couple people stop me and tell me they liked them, and people that I didn't even know really. So that said, my challenge to you is, what can you do right now, whether it be in your life, your physical space, your mental space, your business space, your marketing space, like what spoke on the wellness wheel can you work on right now? What could you do right now to make your situation better? I mean, for me, I know what it is. It's cleaning my garage. My garage is a mess. It's a dump. I hate it. So, I'm gonna work on that this weekend, and I'm gonna get all the stuff off the floor, and I'm gonna make my garage a lot more livable for me. Because I actually want to put a table in there, an adjusting table, in case somebody does have a crisis in the neighborhood or something like that. And we have this rule in our neighborhood where nobody's going into anybody's houses yet. Yep, good idea. Where they can still come to my house and get adjusted without really affecting the inside of the house where my kids are or something like that. Because I'm just, I'm always looking for a body to work on, I guess. Kind of crazy that way. But that said, what is it that you can do if you don't have a dirty garage, and I hope you don't like mine? What is it that you can do right now to make your situation better, whether it be in the moment, which I applaud wholeheartedly because the present moment is all we really have, but what can you do for planning for the future that'll make your life better? Where is your area where you've stuffed all the junk? Is there a junk drawer? Is there a relationship that maybe it's time to send a text for, or maybe a FaceTime with that person who you just had a falling out with and you need to repair for yourself, or that relationship? I mean, there are some relationships that just need to end, right? But there are some relationships that we have not been at our best in, and maybe this is the time that we try to make an effort for that, okay? Maybe that person is struggling right now, and hearing from an old friend is exactly what they need, I don't know. Like I said, I keep telling you, I have no answers, but I know what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep my family safe and healthy. I'm gonna clean my garage, and then I'm gonna clean the basement. Watch out, kids, the toys that aren't being used, they're going, okay? And then I'm going to do something else to make sure that that I make the most of the opportunities that something like this is presenting, and that the next time this happens, I'll have a better, clearer path to self-fulfillment. I don't know, I'm starting to sound like Stuart Smalley, right? But self-fulfillment that I don't have right now in the face of what's going on in this world. And, I'm going to leave on a quote by Gary Vee. I don't know if you can see it above me or not. I'm not really good at these video things, but the quote says, "One is better than nothing." And that is like before he became blown up, and before you couldn't even, really talk to him anymore. That is what he told everybody, is that one is better than nothing. And what that means is you can do one thing right now to make everything else better. And I don't know what that is for you, but I challenge you to think about it and take it to heart. Because if you're sitting at home angry and afraid, the best way to cast that darkness out is to add light. and nothing is more lighting or litting or lit or something than getting out of the darkness and moving to where the light is, or better yet, opening up your heart, okay, and facing your demons and shining a light on all those things that you doubt about yourself and the world. Because you can't be dark and light at the same time, right? And if you're shining brightly, well, I know it sounds like a bunch of hooey to some people, but they still get my meaning. They have that ability too. So again, I'm just gonna do these videos until I feel better about the situation, or there's no reason to anymore. And I hope that you'll take the challenge today. Next week, I'd like to start something a little fun for local businesses and gift cards and their social media links and stuff like that. So I'll probably put something up Sunday night about that. And I hope that you'll participate, because it's going to be a lot of fun for a local business. It's not going to be big prizes or anything there'll be some prizes and stuff like that. But I've got a little game that somebody started in Hampton that I'd like to start here in Portsmouth and see if I can help, especially the restaurants, out with their predicament right now. So yeah, I'll see you Sunday. Bye.